Welcome students. Today we are going to discuss IIR filter design using bilinear transformation. In previous class we already discussed about impulse invariance technique, and we also discussed the problem related to impulse invariance technique. And what is the problem? The problem is the poles are not uniquely mapped from S plane to Z plane. So this problem is resolved here in bilinear transformation. So in bilinear transformation, as we know, the relation between the S plane and Z plane is given by this formula. In this lecture we will not go into detail of this derivation of this relation. We will directly start with this relation. Now so relation between this S plane and Z plane in case of bilinear transformation is S equal to 2 by T 1 minus Z inverse divided by 1 plus Z inverse. Now T is the sampling time. Now if we rearrange this equation, it becomes this one. Okay, so Z is equal to 1 plus St by 2 divided by 1 minus St by 2. Now if I replace S by sigma plus j omega, and if I evaluate the mod value, so here this is basically mod value of Z. Okay, if I evaluate the mod value, so first I will write down, will replace this S by S plus sigma plus j omega, S equal to sigma plus j omega, capital omega, this is the analog frequency. So then I will take the mod. So if I take mod, then root over this square plus b square, we know the formula. So this is mod Z, this is equal to mod Z. Okay, now if I set sigma is equal to 0 here, if we set sigma is equal to 0, then mod Z is 1. It is very obvious. What does it meaning? Now this is basically S plane and this is Z plane. Okay, so sigma is 0 means we are indicating that poles are all in this imaginary axis. The poles are situated in the imaginary axis. So if the poles are situated in the imaginary axis, then we get mod Z equal to 1. That means all the poles in the imaginary axis will map onto this unit circle. Okay, onto this unit circle. Now if I set sigma less than 0, if I set sigma less than 0 here, so this becomes sigma less than 0 means negative, so this becomes plus. Okay, and this becomes minus. So overall the ratio is obviously less than 1. So mod Z becomes less than 1. What does it meaning? What is the meaning of this? Sigma less than 0 means we are indicating the poles in the left half of the S plane. So all the poles in the left half of the S plane will map into the unit circle. So it is very clear from this relation. Okay. Now if I set sigma greater than 0 here, obviously mod Z would be greater than 1. So what is that? So sigma greater than 0 means we are talking about poles in the right half of the S plane that will be uniquely mapped in the outside of this unit circle, that is mod Z greater than 1. So by this mapping we can say that in case of bilinear transformation the mappings are unique. Okay, now what we'll do, I'll pick set mod sigma is equal to 0 and mod Z is equal to 1. So if I rearrange the above equation, you can write down that, so S is equal to, this is S basically, so S is equal to 2 by T 1 minus Z inverse 1 plus Z inverse. Now if we equate the real and imaginary part, that means this is the imaginary one, j omega. So if I do that, and Z is equal to r to the power j omega, so r is equal to 1 here, so 2 by T, so we basically get this equation. Just we are doing some algebraic calculations here. Please go through it, this is very easy. Basically we are multiplying the numerator by e to the minus j omega by 2. We are taking common e to the minus j omega by 2, and at the denominator it is again we are taking common e to the minus j omega by 2. So this becomes such that we can apply this formula. Okay, so this is nothing but 2j sin omega 2. We know the formula of e to the power j theta. Okay, we know formula now e to the j theta or e to the minus j theta, whatever it is applicable, there will be bracket. So this is nothing but cos omega by 2. So we will get this formula finally. So this is the relation here. In case of bilinear transformation, this is the relation with the analog frequency with the digital frequency. Clear? So this relation is quite different from impulse invariance technique. Now from here, if we again rearrange, we can write down small omega is this 2 tan inverse of this. Now from here, this is not a problem free, obviously. Here we have a problem also. If we map using this formula, then so at the x-axis we are plotting analog frequency, at the y-axis we are plotting basically the digital frequency. Okay, now so this line is basically this, which is non-linear. Okay, now here we take some arbitrary frequency response of a suppose these are basically, you can say, band pass filters. So this is one band, this is another band, this is another. This is a frequency response of arbitrary system. Here it is band pass. Now if I want to map, if I want to design the equivalent system in digital domain, so we have to map from the omega from this digital omega. So basically we have to do the mapping using this relation now, which we got from bilinear transformation. Now if I use this relation, obviously this frequency will map here like this. So there is no problem with this the first band. Okay, so this is the pass band frequency and the stop band frequency will remain same here. Okay, remain same here. Now here if I say this is the pass band and this is the stop band frequency, then since this relation is not linear, this relation is not linear, so the frequency response got changed if I use this formula. Why? Because this pass band and stop band frequency changes. Similarly, for the third band, obviously the pass band and stop band frequency will severely affected due to this non-linearity of this relation. So this is basically called frequency warping. Means the frequency had changed. The first band is okay, but the second and third pass bands are changed in digital domain. So if we use this relation in case of bilinear transformation, then at the digital filter we will show different frequency response. So these are the frequency response of digital filters. These are the frequency response in analog domain. Both are not equal, so it will be affect our design. So how to resolve that? So we have to find out a pre-warping frequency. What is that? This is the pre-warping frequency. Okay, so pre-warping means suppose here if we extend the frequency like that, okay, if we extend the frequency like that, then if this frequency response goes through this non-linearity, then it will be shrinked up to this. So by we have to calculate how much we have to modify the my omega. So how to do that? By pre-warping. So by pre-warping we basically adjust that input omega such that it will, after effect of this non-linearity, will get the original one. Okay, so this is the concept of warping and pre-warping frequency. So obviously this is the this relation, but in case of impulse invariance technique we have a linear relationship with this capital omega small omega. So this concept of bilinear transformation where the mapping is unique, okay, and also by pre-warping we will find out the pre-warping frequency first, then we will apply BLT by bilinear transformation method. So we can design in IIR filter very efficiently. Now here we'll see some numerical examples solved. Okay, please go to one numerical example. Just a minute, I will show you some numerical example over here. Okay, okay, I'll discuss the numerical example in the next class, because we have to calculate the order of the filter. So in the next class we will also study how to calculate the order of the filter and all this. So this is the method of bilinear transformation. We simply use this formula to map from Laplace domain to Z domain, that means analog domain to digital domain. So thank you for listening this class, and in the next class we'll learn some formulas to calculate the order of the filter and how to read the given specification, how to read the frequency response, given frequency response, and we'll deduce some equations on that calculation of the order, calculation of the cutoff frequency. After that we'll select one numerical example. Now the one numerical example we'll solve using bilinear transformation as well as by impulse invariance techniques. So thank you for this class.